Hello everyone, welcome back to Walsh Farms and to our YouTube channel. It is Sunday, December 13th in a nice sunny 75 degrees. Woke up this morning, had to have long sleeves on because it was a little chilly. But it's after lunch and the sun is shining bright and I need to be in short sleeves and in shorts, but I'm not. But I haven't given you a garden update since the frost came, so let's turn around and look and see what's happening in our garden. Okay, if you remember this tomato bush, it was sitting outside before and we moved it into the garage because it's growing in a pot. And it has produced, and I think when we moved it in the garage, we had two that was almost ready. And you see now there's 1, 2, 3 on the other side, 4, 5, 6 on this that is ready to be picked. So this tomato bush survived the frost. And this frost we had was a little bit unusual. Even though we were used to 28 degrees below, the ice was extra thick, and I had sort of wondered that myself. But then Travis from Hoss Tools, he made a video mentioning the same thing. So this tomato plant survived, and it was indoors. And if you remember right here, there were 3 tomato plants, but obviously now you only see 1. That one that is there, these tomatoes are starting to turn. So even though, you know, and these tomato bushes have always looked wilted. You know, I had that in an earlier video. I just couldn't figure out what's going wrong, but still kept producing. And that tomato bush was covered by that aluminum trash can, plus covered up with a sheet. These 2 that were here were covered up by a pot similar to that and a blanket over that. But those 2, the frost, I guess the pot just did not insulate it at all or whatever, but those 2 just got bit and got bit hard, so we've taken them out. The beets, we've had to cut back some of the limbs, some of the leaves that got stung. However, they're all still there. These 2, you know, took a harder hit than the other ones, but they're still there. Beets are still growing. So in this bed here, if you remember up in the corners, we had a 1-ball and a cue ball squash, and then that sweet banana pepper. Well, they took a hit, so we pulled them out. But the cabbage is still growing there. The mustard is still producing. Mother-in-law has been over here and picked mustard, so the mustard survived and is still surviving. Iceberg lettuce, we moved inside and have just put it back out here to get sunshine because of the warmer temperatures, and we are still eating that iceberg lettuce. And to me, this iceberg lettuce that we're growing is way tastier than that from the store. Well, Jackie's always giving me a fit about eating iceberg, that I was just eating water. But this here is a lot more flavorful and has a lot more crunch into it than store-bought iceberg lettuce. So this bed here, remember we had okra. It didn't survive. Carrots are still surviving. We actually picked a little one the other day, so they're still growing. The beans, they got bit. Now the snow peas are still there. So they survived. But the cucumbers, they're gone. The blackberry we did not cover, and you can see it's still getting new growth on it. You can see the leaves over here are green. If I can find the end of one of the vines, they keep growing. So blackberries are still going well. Okay, the broccoli and the collards, they weren't covered at all. So they stayed out and are still fine. There's a little bit of singeing on the outer edges of the leaves. You can see like this one right here is curled up a little bit. But what's so nice is you can, I don't know if you can see if I get out of the sun, there's a little broccoli head in there, a little broccoli head in there, so a little broccoli head in there. So the broccoli is still producing, the collards are still producing. So we're still growing in our South Georgia weather. Okay, and this is our green stalk vertical planter, and it's on wheels, so we can roll it in and out depending on how it is. And you see that tube right there? Again, that's where you can put water in the top right here, and that water trickles down to all these different planting spots, and if you got too much water, it drains out the bottom. So that is if you got a small space, that is something handy to have. And if you look in the description of this video, if this is something that interests you, you can go use my promo code and get $10 off the purchase of it. But here in ours, we have tomatoes, we have peppers, we have lettuce, and we have some cucumbers somewhere. So we've got all sorts of different stuff growing. So while today there is sunshine out today, it is really some of our first days of good sunshine. So these things have been really lacking good, productive light. Even though it comes outside, it doesn't get good light because of the overcast we've had. So this is one where I wish I had a set of grow lights that I could put this thing by and see if it would really grow. Okay, in this tub here, Jackie's planted 3 rows of spinach. And while I say we're still overcrowding, we're reading a book from a guy, and I can't remember the name of the book and can't remember his name, but he talks about that it's okay to overcrowd pots, and it's okay to overcrowd raised beds. So we're experimenting to see. Oh, and if you remember, the reason this tub doesn't have anything in it, we had potatoes in it, and they were starting to die back. So we harvested our potatoes, and while that's not very many, it was a little bit of a disappointment to us, but honestly, that is twice as good as what we got on our first crop of potatoes. So we have learned a little bit, still got more to go, but that harvest was better than the first time around. Ooh, sorry about that. I had to take a break and go change shirts, get out of that long sleeve and to put on my Walsh Farms short sleeve shirt. And I've also got some shorts on, so I changed shirts for 2 reasons. One, because it's warm out here, and the second one is to make sure that I get my $10 royalty check from Rick at the Walsh Farm for free advertising. So those other ones of you that got Walsh Farm shirts, make sure Rick is sending you that royalty check. $10 every time you wear it in a video. Okay, here in this empty tub that I showed you we pulled the potatoes out of, we have tilled the dirt up with a shovel, just kept flipping it upside down, mixing it, put some newer potting soil and black cow in there. And Jackie is planting Starfighter lettuce from Hoss Tools. So again, December 13th, and we'll let you see as this progresses. Okay, I don't know if you can see that or not because of the sun, but she has 17 Starfighter lettuce plants there. I think if I start, yeah, Starfighter lettuce plants in that tub. So now she's moving over to this tub and going to plant some Tahama lettuce, also from Hoss Tools. Okay, in big farming, you know, with all the GPS and computers on the tractor, when we're planting, we call it precision planting. Well, Jackie has took that literally here, because you can see to the right, I'll get my finger in here, she has got a ruler in there. And then the middle stick, or the stick to the left, it's a little bit too long for this container, but that's where she's making her indentions for the rows. So she has taken gardening, precision gardening, to a whole nother level. She didn't show me her other stick, so she has a popsicle stick with different measurements on it, and this one is a 1/4 inch depth. So she knows exactly, precisely, precision planting to how deep to plant that seed. Okay, this is the bed where the 1-ball cue ball squash were at in the sweet banana pepper plant. So I've taken the shovel and turned all this dirt upside down and mixed it up real good to get that was at the bottom towards the top and that was at the top towards the bottom. Just doing a good mixing of it, and you can see the stick in Jackie's hand. She is back to her precision gardening, and she is leveling that bed out. See this mustard over here to the right, it's a couple months old. It's still producing, but not producing as much. So she is now going to plant some Florida broadleaf mustard from Haas Tool Seeds. We'll write down this date of December 13th, and we'll follow along, see how it grows. Oh, I was fixing to get ready to start uploading this video, and then I just thought about it. I better go back and tell y'all the truth. Rick from the Lala Farm does not pay me a royalty fee for wearing this t-shirt. That was just a joke, just to see if I could get some of y'all's goat going and create Rick a little bit of a headache and confusion. So, again, Rick does not pay me a royalty fee, so don't ask Rick for $10. So that ends today's garden update video. We have everything planted that we're going to plant for this week anyway. So you can see Jackie's back there watering everything, putting some moisture back to that dirt because it was already dried out. So I hope you liked this video. Give us a thumbs up. If you didn't, go ahead and give us a thumbs down, because that helps the analytics too. If you're a viewer and not a subscriber, consider subscribing to us. It doesn't cost you anything. But also ring that bell, so that way you get notified of future videos. There's no telling what you're going to see on this channel. It could be farming, it could be gardening, it could be cooking. Hopefully we was going to do some more hunting this year, but we haven't done a whole lot of that, but we still got a couple of weeks left. But until then, I hope y'all have had a blessed weekend this weekend. Hope y'all have a better week next week, and pray that God continues to bless you the way He has blessed us. But until the next video, y'all take care, and see you next time.